What do you think is going on with Lamar Jackson? Because he's next. What do you think's happening?
You know, this is what's interesting about Lamar. I'm not a big fan of players representing themselves, especially now that a lot of the agents are willing to charge a little bit less after the union kind of intervened in this a few years back. But whether he's been really smart or he just stumbled into it, he was really wise to wait till he's completed at least 4 years to do the deal. I mean, the market for him a year ago, assuming he's going to be in that couple of highest-paid quarterbacks, was meaningfully less than it is right now. I mean, that Aaron Rodgers deal wasn't done, the Murray deal wasn't done, the Watson deal wasn't done. So the three top-paid quarterbacks deals have happened in the last year. So Lamar should get even a better deal than he would have a year ago. And, you know, the only thing here is he interested in a Kirk Cousins path to really kind of play it out and test the market, a young star quarterback, totally free? If not, I would say I think he's at the point where he's kind of maximized the value of waiting, and the risk of taking more time is getting larger than the benefit, and he should probably try to complete a deal this summer. And I think the Ravens badly want to keep him and prepared to make him high paid. But I think he's chosen actually to kind of slow play this for now. But my opinion is, in hindsight, that was very, very smart. But the time has now come to get a deal done.
Joe Banner, former NFL executive here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's your read of what's happening with Jimmy Garoppolo and how it's going to play out from here, Joe?
You know, they're unfortunate for the 49ers that he got injured, and that kind of depressed his ability to be in the market and receive any real compensation at the time that the other quarterbacks who moved this year were available. You know, for me, I probably think higher of Garoppolo than most, although the fact that he struggles to stay healthy would scare me a lot. I'm not sure who the suitor is. I mean, I would say it should be Seattle or Houston or one of those teams, but they're acting like they're satisfied. He's certainly not going to pick up his contract, so he's going to have to renegotiate it. And I wouldn't rule out the possibility if he has to take a cut and go to a team that he may not be the starter at, that he stays there. I don't think that's most likely, but I think people are kind of crossing it off as a possibility. But the teams that in my mind need him the most, that he gets a chance to play quickly and can actually have an impact, are Seattle and Houston. But they seem to think higher of their quarterbacks than I certainly do, and many others do, at least if we trust the actions speak louder than words.
Well, I do like Davis Mills, and, you know, a lot of evaluators believe that if Mills had stayed another year in Stanford, he would have been a top 10 pick. He would have been the first quarterback off the board before Pickett by a wide margin, and so I kind of believe that Houston wants to stick with him there. Seattle is another story, and obviously Seattle and San Francisco are in the same division. So do you think San Francisco might be hanging on to see if somebody gets hurt over the next couple weeks, and thus they will have no choice but to go grab Garoppolo, a la Sam Bradford from back in the day? And then if not, then they'll just have to release him, right? I mean, what does releasing him mean?
No, that's exactly right. Those are the choices, the chance of an injury. And, you know, it's an injury of the team that isn't likely to be a contender. They're still not going to get a very big offer, and he's still going to have to adjust the contract. Now, maybe it just converts things to incentives versus in-base salary, but really that's a real long-shot strategy. But they have nothing to lose by waiting a few weeks here and seeing if it plays out. The fact that they appear to have had a cordial meeting with him in the last couple of days makes me think that they came to some understanding, like, listen, give us a little time to see if we can get some value. We'll collaborate with you on where. And if it doesn't happen, you know, we'll either discuss a pay cut and you stay here, or we'll release you, because there's nothing else they can do. There's no guaranteed money in the deal, you know, unless they want to pay him $25 million, which would be a terrible long-term move. They have cap challenges as we look forward. I would not think it wise to waste that much money on a quarterback that they've announced isn't their starter. So I think the chance of being released is actually the most likely case. And I think you're right about Houston, by the way. And I think the reason Mills fell in the draft was more about injury fear than it was about talent. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's a race just because he stayed healthy for 1 year. So I still view them as a team that should be protecting themselves long-term as a quarterback, even though I agree with you, Mills played well. He has talent. He would have been higher draft if it wasn't for the physical limitations.